ServSafe manager's license over the summer, and the person that was teaching food safety and sanitation, she was telling me about this establishment that actually had a sewer problem, and they didn't have that gap between the sink or the piping and the floor drain. And it was actually hooked up to the ice machine, and they didn't realize that sewage was coming up, and so they ended up making poop ice. And what makes it worse, well, there's two bad things. One, it was for the elderly. Two, they didn't realize that the sewage has backed up. So the fresh ice was sitting on top of the brown ice, so they were serving that ice for a very long time. People were having like poop beverages. And after they realized what they were doing, they're pretty sure they found actual fecal matter and like toilet paper and stuff at the very bottom. So just heads up, that's kind of an extreme case, but that's the reason behind it.
That's why, yeah, ice machines are another one, for example, that can't directly drain because, and like, you know, it's easy to see sewage, you know, coming out of that, but you know, how do you see it in an ice machine? You know, where, what for?
Yeah, if it's not hooked up right.
Yeah.
Ice. Just think about that next time you're going out and having some of their ice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Along that same lines, you go into like breakfast places and they're like, you know, those like orange juice machines that like kind of auto make orange juice all day long, like McDonald's and stuff. Well, like sometimes they'll never clean those, and like we can take the lid off sometimes, and there's just like a scum layer of mold like just floating on the top. And that's what it'll do. It'll just accumulate and it floats. So then you keep like filling it, refilling it, but it never goes anywhere. It's like just floating on the top of all that. So that's why one thing we always check is the big equipment, the clean in place kind of equipment that you can't just throw in the dishwasher. But you know, juice machines and you know, soda nozzles at the pop machine and like you know, that kind of stuff, just to make sure they don't get super nasty, that they're actually clean. Slurpee machines, stuff like that.
Yeah, if you look underneath you take a little flashlight and look underneath the soda machine. It's like I actually saw one today that was like it was dripping, or it was like this little like sticky thing. So it can get pretty crazy. Even like at bars, if you're ever at a bar, you could look in the little soda nozzles, and I've seen like kind of mold on where the soda sprays out. So.
Yeah, it's important. So I saw you guys had a whole thing of thermometers up there, so that's good to have those on hand, right? Do you guys calibrate those? Do you know how to calibrate those?
Well, I was going to say, do you guys remember the temperature over there? When you're doing the ice water method? You remember it? When we have ice water.
So what is the freezing point of water?
You guys should know this too. What's the freezing point of water?
Switch around.
Further away.
Yeah.
I know, this was a while ago.
Yeah, it's 32. So 32 degrees is freezing. So if you get ice water and it's mostly a slushy mixture, it's ice, then it should theoretically be pretty dang close to 32. So if you stick a thermometer in there, give it a minute, you know, it should read. We give everybody 2 degrees difference. So no thermometer's perfect. You know, so if food's supposed to be 41, we temp it, we get 43. That's okay. But more than 2 degrees out of temp is what's considered a violation on those temperature violations under Section 3.
Yeah, like today, all 3 food thermometers that I measured, mine was at like 32, and theirs were like 28. So every time that they're temping something in like the cooler, they think it's like 4 degrees cooler than it actually is.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important.
So yeah, using the right tools and making sure your tools are calibrated, that's not just the kitchen stuff, that's anywhere for safety and for food quality too. You know, make sure the tools you're using to help you are reliable and accurate. And if they're not, or if you drop them or they crack, don't use them. You know, that's a big one. It's a lot easier to buy a $10 thermometer than have to throw out a whole walk-in because I come in and your thermometer was 6 degrees out of calibration. So,
and you can actually calibrate, like these ones we hand out to places that don't have them, you can actually calibrate it with this little wrench thing. So you stick it in, and you know some of these have like a little wrench on them, but I've seen somebody pull out like a big wrench, and you just tighten this thing, and you can move it wherever you want.
Yeah, no, that's good. Do you want to stick somebody with the black light on the dry storage rooms?
Oh, yes,
Wait,
please.
real quick before we do this, this group of students here, they saw two things that we strategically placed.
Yeah.
Would you like us to, go ahead, Christina, what did you find? No, so what did you find?
I'm like, I
I'm
want
just
to
saying, why is it there? What is it? What was a good observation? What is down there? Did you guys see this?
Well, this time.
Right,
So, yeah,
so
so-
what's wrong with that? It's
on the
floor. Okay.
Right, yeah.
It does, it wash, rinse, and sanitize. And then what about on the table? What did you find?
I don't know. Brown sugar.
Brown sugar?
Pepper.
That was not us.
Are you sure it's pepper?
Yeah.
What else could it be?
Is it labeled?
Okay, look really closely.
Cinnamon.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I thought you guys were gonna put it in your mouth.
Rap
I was
food?
like, no.
No, it's kind of.
Yeah, no white stuff.
You never know, guys. So today it is pepper, okay? But you never know what that could be. Are you guys pepper?
Also, I did put that out there because typically that's what cockroach poo looks like. It looks like little pepper flakes.
Yeah.
So just heads up, if you see pepper flakes on your table, don't just try it to see if it's pepper. You just gotta clean it up and let someone know because it could be poop. They could be spreading salmonella all over the table.
Yeah. So don't assume because it looks like food, it is food, right? So that's
Put that in our mouth.
that's the point. It's like I see things all the time that I'm not sure what it is. Sometimes I can ask the question and they can explain it to me. Sometimes I have to walk in the morning and I don't know, nobody has any idea what it is. So you have to treat it like it's the worst thing you could think of. Otherwise, you're running a risk. So that's a good point there behind that stuff. So.
Good observation, guys. Seriously. I'm wondering if you guys are going to know this. Alright. Alright,
So who wants to look for mouse pee?
Who's got the black lights in here?
What?
Okay, so you can look at it. Who else has a black light? We have a black light.
Well, and maybe if hopefully we don't find any, but if, heaven forbid, we do find some, then you guys can each take a turn and I hope we don't
So
find
I'm gonna have
any.
those that have the black light. Come